welcome to another week of home learning. So I am going to be talking you through the first English lesson of this week. So let's have a look at the learning objective. So the learning objective for today's lesson is to use brackets for parenthesis. Now we all know what brackets look like, but just have a little think about what that word parenthesis means. So parenthesis is when extra information has been inserted into a sentence. Now this extra information, it can be a word, it can be a phrase, or it can be a clause. So if we have a look at this sentence here, we've got, I went to the cinema with Jack, my younger brother. So I want you to think about what should the sentence be able to do without the brackets. So if I took out the information in the brackets, what should the sentence be able to do? The sentence should still make sense on its own. I went to the cinema with Jack. Okay, then our next sentence is, my cats, Luca and Lyra, are very naughty. So think about where those brackets would go. Think about what the parenthesis is, the extra information. So I've chosen to put the brackets around Luca and Lyra because I think that's extra information about the cats. And now I'm going to check if it still makes sense without the information in the brackets. My cats are very naughty. That makes sense. Therefore, I know that I've used the brackets correctly. Right, now I'm going to be showing you some sentences which have used brackets incorrectly, and I want you to try and work out what's gone wrong. So the sentences still have parentheses in them, they still include extra information, whether it's a word, a phrase or a clause, but the brackets are incorrect. See if you can spot the mistake. Okay, here's the first sentence. So, Miss Foley, the teacher with the long brown hair, likes to teach Irish dancing. So what is the mistake in this sentence? If we ignore the parenthesis, the extra information in the brackets, the sentence should still make sense. Miss Foley to teach Irish dancing. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so I've moved the brackets, so hopefully it should make sense now. So always check, if you ignore the information in the brackets, does your sentence still make sense? If it doesn't, then you may have put your brackets in the wrong place. Okay, have a think about what's wrong with this one. We've got the Year 6 teacher, Mr. Batty, has a son called Jude. If we ignore the parenthesis, the extra information in the brackets, we have Mr. Batty has a son called Jude, which makes sense. So what's wrong with it? The problem is that we never, ever use brackets at the beginning of a sentence. It makes teachers cry. Okay, have a look at this one and think about what has gone wrong. Some people say that my sister and I are identical. I don't think we are. Actually, we are a bit similar. Okay, don't put parenthesis inside parenthesis. Okay? Don't use brackets inside other brackets. Just don't do it, okay? Okay, a little correction needs to be made here. This is what you're doing today. But you'll see on your home learning page, it says day 2. It's not day 2, it's day 1. So you are given various sentences and you need to add in the parenthesis using brackets accurately. This is the first sentence that you're using. So just think about where you could include extra information. So we've got that afternoon, the boy walked slowly home. So we could maybe add in some parentheses here that tells us what time maybe.
We could add in maybe a noun phrase about the boy. The boy with the brown hair walked slowly home. We could maybe add parenthesis here and give a little bit of information about where his home is. That afternoon, the boy walked slowly home towards the park. So I have gone for extra information about the afternoon. So I've got that afternoon at around 2 p.m, the boy walked slowly home, and I've checked that it makes sense, because if I ignore what's in the brackets, the sentence still works. It still makes sense.
So when you've done those sentences and you've polished them, you then can move on to activity 2, which is to design a poster which we can put around the classroom when you're back, explaining what parenthesis is and how to use brackets accurately.
Your task for the following day says day 3. It's not day 3, it's day 2, so just be careful. And you have got some examples of how to use parenthesis, and then you have to make up your own sentences.
You'll see that at the end, as an extension, you need to write a character description of Darth Vader. And here you can really show off that you know how to use brackets and how to add parentheses into your writing. If you don't want to do Darth Vader, you don't have to. I've never seen Star Wars either.
Don't forget to get in touch if you need any help at all. Isn't that right, Luke?